And a very good afternoon. Welcome to Sports City, your home of sports analysis, both local and international. It is a good day for you to join this broadcast. You are with me, Bill Clinton Odiambo, alongside my colleague Felix Makona. How are you?
Today I'm really bright
Right.
because the league is back, and most of the times people have been bored by the international break.
Yes.
And now the good thing is that the international break until March next year.
very
So
long time.
we shall be enjoying back-to-back English football games, Champions League, FA Cup,
Right.
Carabao.
Right.
But another thing that is annoying me, Manchester United has been put to play on Monday. Monday ni maswara, I tell you. Any team that plays midweek,
Yes.
Friday or Monday,
Right.
the team gets beaten.
Up until this point, I'm officially convinced that Felix Makona is a certified Manchester United hater. We're going to talk about that later on when we discuss the matches as far as the English Premier League is concerned. But yes, indeed, my language interpreter this afternoon is Wanja Ngeda, but our channels of communication are officially open. 0111 980384 is our SMS and WhatsApp number. Science TV Kenya across our social media platforms. Be sure to catch up with our content. Follow, like, subscribe pale ndani ya YouTube. Just like Makona has mentioned, club football is back. It has resumed. And I don't know why majority of people usually dislike internationals. But this time, they delivered at least a lot of entertaining actions. But one would assume it's because of the World Cup, because it is the World Cup. So lazima watu wangejituma wajitetee. Ama namna gani?
Yeah, obvious. Everyone will like to show up,
Right.
especially when these big tournaments are coming up.
Yeah.
Hata kama angekuwa ni mimi lazima you have to show yourself.
Yes, indeed, that is a fact. But yes, club football is back. EPL, we're going to take a look at some of the international, the English Premier League games taking place this week. Remember, the North London Derby is set to be played tomorrow. Arsenal versus Tottenham. Be sure to send in your predictions, your thoughts, and opinions as well. And as far as the local Premier League is concerned, the SportPesa League, Match Day 10, entertaining games to look out for this weekend, among them being Gor Mahia and Tusker playing on later on today. But also, we have a contingent of top deaf athletes who are representing us or representing Team Kenya in the Deaflympics, the ongoing Deaflympics that is happening in Tokyo, Japan. It started off in November 15th and it's ending in November 26th. So as far as concerned, we are at around Match Day 8. And Team Kenya so far so good. Things are looking really well. We are going to talk about how the teams are performing, including some of the exclusive action as far as it is going down. It is happening at in Tokyo, Japan. But Makona, let's quickly end. Let's begin with the club football matches, club football highlights. We're talking about the English Premier League, Match Day 12. Imesonga sana.
Yeah.
Yes, things are moving really well. But before we even start looking at some of the games that are set to be played this weekend, after the international games, many managers, not even the players, and also us fans, normally we are disappointed by the fact that usually after the international games, injuries are picked up, and some of the teams, kidogo kuna wasiwasi now creeping in, a lot of worry, a lot of tension is creeping in, and notably for big games, for example, like big teams like Arsenal, who are at the top of the table as far as the Premier League is concerned. One would assume, even the manager would want to continue the momentum to keep pale winning games. But when you lose players, especially in the defensive department, like for example, Arsenal are now missing the services of Gabriel Magalhaes, one would be worried, and just like other teams, just like Arsenal, we have the likes of Chelsea, who also Cole Palmer was reported, he was out for some time, but then again, as progress was continuing, he unfortunately also injured, his toe. He also broke his toe, and now he'll be out for roughly 3 days as well for Chelsea. Liverpool also reported injury concerns with Florian Wirtz, who plays for Germany, who was in action for Germany in their qualifiers for World Cup. He's also reported injured alongside the Conor Bradley, and they'll be missing the afternoon match against Nottingham Forest later on today. Manchester City, for them, Rodri Bado ako injured, and he's the one missing against Newcastle this afternoon. For Arsenal, I've already mentioned Gabriel Magalhaes to miss out for roughly 1 month, and missing out the big game tomorrow. That is the North London Derby. These injuries, Makona, who is taking it worse? And who is going to try and substitute their players and still be able to continue doing well?
I'll first say the injuries in football, they are there, but we have to take it in this way. When a team has qualified, especially in the World Cup, like France, we saw Kylian Mbappe withdrew from the squad after knowing he already qualified to the World Cup. Lamine Yamal, the same as Kylian Mbappe, but Lamine Yamal plays for Spain. He also withdrew from the team knowing that we have already qualified. And you leave it for the youngsters to just shine in the game.
Yeah.
So I will say it is a disadvantage as well as an advantage to the teams. The players, if they don't go to the international, they will be fringed out or they will freeze.
Right.
This thing needs you training, particularly, especially in those days that you are free. And this causes injuries to the players. And when a player is out of action and he stays for long, this will also bring the player to have some hitches, some fatigue, and it is a good show that most of them managed to withdraw. Right. But for those who got injuries, we will say it was bad for them. Knowing that even Riccardo Calafiori, who plays for Italy and Arsenal left back, withdrew from the Italy national team as a precaution because he had hip or a muscle injury.
Right.
So he needed to go back to Arsenal and they assess him. Yes. But for that, Gabriel case is worse, knowing that tomorrow Arsenal is playing Tottenham. And Gabriel Magalhaes, in the 2 games Arsenal has played Tottenham, Gabriel has scored in both the games and he has been man of the match. So this is a setback to Arsenal.
Right.
First of all, the set pieces, who will score for Arsenal?
Right.
That's the question we are asking. The second thing is, who will captain that defense?
Yes.
Arsenal has 3 captains on the field.
Right.
First of all, in the midfield, we have Declan Rice. He captains the midfield. In the defense, Saliba is too young. Right. So Gabriel is the leader in that defense.
Right.
In the striking role, we have Saka, always there. So I will say Arsenal will miss a key defender tomorrow in that Gabriel Magalhaes case.
Right.
And these cases, we have been seeing them, but we would like the players to be taking precaution. If you feel you can't play, even I ask myself, Gabriel was playing against Senegal. That was a friendly game. Brazil managed to beat Senegal 1-0. Was it necessary that the coach start Gabriel Magalhaes? And Gabriel Magalhaes knew that I can be injured in this game and Arsenal needs me. Right. Why didn't he take a precaution and return to Arsenal? Sometimes I feel there's some dots that I'm not connecting. That was a friendly game. It was not a mass, or Brazil was not going to qualify to anything.
Okay.
The same to other teams.
Yes.
You find that a player goes to international and is a player that is dependable on the same team. Right. Like, for example, Manchester City now are depending on Ryan Cherki and the likes of Donnarumma in the keeper, Patrick Dogu. We have, I think, Manchester City in their lineup. You find that they have up to 4 people that if they miss on the field, automatically the team underperforms. The same as Arsenal, the same as Manchester United without Mbeumo, Bruno, and some key midfielders there. There's no Manchester United. The same as Arsenal, the same as Chelsea.
Right.
So when these things happen, we have to look at better replacement.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely, that is just a loyal Arsenal fan, of course, giving out his frustrations as far as the injuries are concerned. Arsenal hit hard amongst other teams because Gabriel Magalhaes will be out for 1 month, and he is a key player, just like you mentioned. He has that quality to lead the defense department. I think. Let me just ask, who is the top scorer at the moment for Arsenal?
Is Victor Gyökeres with 4 goals.
Then
Bukayo Saka.
Nice. Gabriel Magalhaes hayuko mahali hapo.
He has 2 goals.
He has 2 goals. But he is a key player, especially
in defense.
In defense and set piece, like you mentioned earlier, because he's been really important for Arsenal. And now let us just look at some of the actions we are expecting today. Very, very important games to look out for. And I would like us to begin with the Newcastle playing at home against Manchester City. This is one of the big games, one of the most amazing ones to look out for, because for these two teams, both of them desire a win. When you look at for Manchester City, for example, on their end, they're looking to capitalize ahead of the North London derby. They know that Arsenal, of course, they are facing a tough side against Tottenham tomorrow, so they would like to get the 3 points today to try and close that gap. Remember, as we speak, Arsenal leading the table with 26 points, 4 points ahead of Manchester City, who are with 22. So should they close that gap, then things will be looking nicely for them. Only a point to separate the two sides. But when you look at the opponents whom they are facing, Newcastle, they have had back-to-back defeats. Ahead of this game, they were beaten 3-1 against West Ham, and also suffered a 3-1 loss against Brentford. Now, against a team like Manchester City, Newcastle, of course, they're at home. They'll be considered as the underdogs in this particular game, but they'll be relying on the 12th man, the fans, to try and help them, because one would assume Pep Guardiola is not going to sit back. He's going to attack, and they'll be most likely the dominant side between the two sides, and not forgetting whom they have in the as far as the scoring process is concerned. Erling Haaland, the top scorer of the season at the moment with 14 goals. He seemed to be on a good run of form at the moment. How then do you see Newcastle trying to stop a good side like Manchester City?
I will say, let's look at the Newcastle lineup. You find that they have Bruno Guimaraes in midfield.
Yes.
Defense, especially the goalkeeper, they have Nick Pope.
Right.
And that's a good goalkeeper,
yes,
to my view. In striking, we have Nick Waltermed. Nick Waltermed, in his career, he just came to the English Premier League the other time, and the boy is really shining.
Yes.
I remember he has scored goals, and is the third best scoring in goals after Erling Haaland. It is him.
They're tying with Semenyo.
Yeah, they are tying with Semenyo in goals.
Right.
You find that these are players that will need to show up in this game.
Right.
On the other side, when you look at Manchester City, we have Ryan Cherki, who is really playing well and has blended very well with Erling Haaland. And they are trying to assist each other, and the team is scoring goal very well. Right. We also have Doku and Savinho there. They are good players. But one thing I will say in detailed form, right, is that Newcastle have lost up to 3 games consecutive.
Yes.
Manchester City have not lost any game recently.
Right.
I will say Manchester City have that capability of winning, but we have to give Newcastle also a chance.
Right.
Knowing that they have to resurrect and recuperate from what they have experienced in the last 3 games. They have to come back and win the game.
Right.
And what neutralizes the game is that the game is at St. James Park.
Yes.
So Manchester City today are playing away.
Yes.
I will also give a draw or Newcastle.
That is a big call there, because when you look at Manchester City, how they performed last time out, they easily won 3-0 against Liverpool. Aside that, yes, they have been struggling, and it gave them an opportunity to show their best as far as their counter-attack, as far as enjoying football is concerned, because I think that is one of the games that we saw a player like Patrick Dogo enjoying himself out in the wings. And, they are facing a similarly, a slow side like that is in Newcastle, because Newcastle started really shaky this season, and they're still also struggling, right? When you look at their performances, when you say Newcastle, yes, but they are going to win against Manchester City, don't you think that is a bit, that is, I guess, a team that has been on back-to-back form? You yourself mentioned that they have not lost any games so far. So they're in a hot form. What are the key areas that are you seeing maybe Pep Guardiola is going to fumble and not win against Newcastle?
I'll say if we compare Newcastle midfield, or that of we have Livramento, we have Bruno Guimaraes, and we have this other young guy, Joe Linton.
Yes.
Joe Linton, when you bring them together, they form that midfield trio that will embarrass Manchester City midfield. That's for sure, because when you look on the side of Manchester City, you have Tijani Reinders,
right?
We have Nico Gonzalez,
yes,
and Silva. So if you compare the midfield, I will say Newcastle looks stronger than Manchester City. Manchester City, their only strength comes in Donnarumma.
Okay.
He's a short stopper. It's good. And their other strength comes from Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, even if the game is hard, he tries to score or tries to make sure that the defense of the opponent is disrupted and another player can find the back of the net. In this case, I will say Newcastle, if they utilize their midfield very well, knowing that Nick Woltermed, if he finds a chance, he will score.
Yes.
Nick Woltermed is a good German striker. I don't know where Arsenal was when they were signing Kai Havertz and forgetting. And also, when you look at Newcastle, the games they have lost, they were lacking key members.
Right.
We have Livramento,
Yes.
who was injured.
Yes.
We also have Anthony Gordon, who was injured.
Right.
But he could be back today evening playing against Manchester City.
Okay.
We also have the other young guy, Lewis Millie.
Yes.
That boy plays midfield with all his heart. So if he comes in the second half, I think Manchester City will have to struggle to score even against Newcastle. I remember when Newcastle was playing against Arsenal, you saw how Arsenal struggled. And they had to wait up to the last minutes. Is when Gabriel Magalhaes scored a header to help Arsenal win 2-1 against Newcastle.
Right.
Without that, Newcastle had a lot of chances which they wasted. Right. So I will say, if Newcastle managed to convert their chances very well, Newcastle wanaenda nyumbani na point 3.
Without a doubt, that is a fact because I'm looking at their past games that they've played. They've managed to at least score a single goal. So yes, that is at least should I say a lifeline for them that one way or another, lazima watatingiza nyavu, lazima they'll be there to get a goal. So of course, Manchester City should be careful of especially playing away against a side like at James Park, where the fans are always coming out to give their team the desired momentum. For Newcastle later on, after Manchester City, they're going to play the likes of Marseille in the Champions League next, and you would assume that that will also be a test that they'll be looking out for as far as getting good results today and also good results as far as the Champions League is concerned. But another interesting match I want us to talk about this afternoon, Makona, is the Liverpool and Nottingham Forest game, where Liverpool, who sits 8th, are meeting a side who are at number 19 as far as the table is concerned. But we are seeing a resurgence in Nottingham Forest since they brought in the new manager, Sean Dyche, and he's been doing really well. In the past 5 games, he has managed to win 2, draw 2, and lose only a single game. And so far, the performances are slowly and surely taking them off the relegation zone. Against a side that is struggling defensively, like Liverpool, who are also missing important players. Florian Wirtz, who they have really tried and struggled to at least put him in the first 11, but he has not managed to gel in with the players so far. He'll be missing out. They'll also be missing out the services of Conor Bradley, a very, very good player in their squad. Do you see this is an opportunity for Nottingham Forest to bounce back? Of course, they're on a good trajectory as far as coming back to winning ways is concerned. But against a side that is weak, kidogo, like Liverpool, is Sean Dyche preparing for a win?
Nottingham Forest, when you look at the season 2022-2023, when they were coming back from relegation and they were promoted to the English Premier League, the first team they met was Liverpool. And they really disturbed Liverpool up to a point that it was a draw of 2-2. Right. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And also, when you look at head-to-head, the last 10 games Nottingham Forest have faced Liverpool, you find that Liverpool have won 5, 3 draws, and Nottingham Forest have won 2. When you go with these facts, we can't rule out Nottingham Forest scoring against Liverpool.
Yes.
You find that there is a chance that now that Liverpool are down, the defense of Liverpool nowadays, it is like they are dancing on the field because when a straightforward striker comes in and disturbs the defense at least, you find that the likes of Konate and Van Dijk, they get twisted,
Right.
and the ball bounces, or the opponent nets against Liverpool easily. You find that Nottingham Forest, they have a stronger squad. We cannot underrate the lineups that Nottingham Forest will try to use today.
Right.
We have the likes of Ndiaye.
Yes.
We have the likes of Odoi.
Right.
Nottingham Forest is a team that can really do wonders against Liverpool.
Yes.
We have seen the likes of other teams, other small teams, like the likes of Crystal Palace, coming back, especially beating Liverpool twice. I even third this season, because if we add that when they were playing the Community Shield, that will be 3 times.
Right.
Remember, Crystal Palace has beaten them in the Europa League, not Europa League, the EFL Cup,
Right,
that is
Carabao.
the Carabao.
Yes.
They have beaten them in the English Premier League, and this was consecutively. So I will say, if you are beaten on Sunday and then you are beaten on Wednesday, the same days, the team has at least some weaknesses.
Yes.
The same to this case. Nottingham Forest is facing Liverpool, and remember, Liverpool, most of their players, they were out. Especially in the international break, you find that even after Alisson Becker came back to training,
Right.
he didn't feature in the Brazil national team.
Yes.
So I will say these are players that are still healing.
Right.
You know, and they are now playing against a team that most of their players didn't even go to the international break. They were just training, knowing who we are going to face is Liverpool. So Newcastle today, either you like it or not,
Forest, Liverpool.
Nottingham Forest today.
Yes.
I'm not hating on Liverpool,
Right.
but Newcastle must score today.
Forest must score today.
Forest, I'm
Right,
sorry.
right.
Nottingham Forest must score today against Liverpool.
Right. Liverpool fans and Arne Slot coming to this particular game, and previously, even before the Manchester City game, they were on a good roll, right? 2-0 win against Aston Villa, 1-0 win in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Then, when you're meeting Manchester City, you would assume they would try to get a positive result, even a draw to say the least. But it was a humiliating 3-0 loss to Manchester City. How then does Arne Slot bounce back from that defeat? Of course, you mentioned the likes of Alisson coming back, and I'm assuming he will be featuring today.
Yeah.
But how then does Arne Slot bounce back to try and get positive results? Of course, Nottingham Forest is a dangerous team, and not forgetting whom they are now being managed by, because Sean Dyche is a professional coach. He knows, basically, he's been there in the Premier League. He knows the ins and outs, especially when a team is suffering. He knows the kind of the right buttons to press to hurt you in areas that they can get positive results. How then can Arne Slot depend on his top players? Because Liverpool has quite good players, but we've not seen the magic. Mohamed Salah, we have not seen that magic out of him so far in this season. And there's a lot of requests from fans. Perhaps akule bench kidogo ndo amke, because we've seen it work for some players. Where we depend on you week in, week out, but you're not seeing desirable results. You're struggling to get assists here and there, or maybe even score yourself. But you have the likes of Alexander Isak. He came in from a big money signing, but we're not seeing much out of him. He was out with Sweden in the international team, but we're not seeing much of action out of such kind of players. How can Arne Slot bring the best out of them?
I'll say maybe he play Ekitike, try to play with 2 strikers, that is use Ekitike and Isak at the same time.
Okay.
And that will also bring a problem, because Musala now will have to sit on the bench.
Right.
And also, we will have to see the likes of Ryan Gravenberch and other players being out of the team. So this means that if Liverpool want to win this game, they will just have to try another method.
Right.
Because teams have now read, or they have now studied how Liverpool plays.
Yes.
And these small teams have that habit of studying big teams, how they play, how they can try to manipulate them. And then the other thing I can say, on the side of Nottingham Forest, their owner is Angelo Marinakos. And Marinakis wants results. So I think Sindaich in this game, he wants to prove to the board that he can work. So today is Nikufa Kupona.
Another interview.
Because Sindaich wants to prove I'm a professional.
Right.
I can lead Nottingham Forest to at least something. And today is the day he starts showing that. And also, when you come to general anticipation, you find that if Liverpool will win today, you find they are moving closer to Arsenal. They will be giving pressure to Arsenal. The same as Manchester City, they will be given pressure by Liverpool.
Yes.
So it is good to be moderate and Nottingham Forest to make sure that they try and the best they can get in this game, let them get a draw or they manage to go away with all the 3 points. We are not hating on Liverpool, but we are saying the fact that Liverpool today, the Liverpool we knew last season and the Liverpool that is playing today, they are two different teams. The Liverpool of today will go up to 3 games beaten.
Right.
Last season, Liverpool could not go 3 games beaten. So I will say the Liverpool has changed. So if you are placing your money on a bet, do not place Liverpool a win today.
Right.
Because, you know, the Muhindi person has today decided that one team will make people's predictions or bets to all collapse. So let's try to maintain let's take precaution before it happens.
Okay.
And these teams, it only comes between Newcastle and Manchester City, and then Liverpool versus Nottingham today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one way to find out, and that will be at around 6 p.m., where Liverpool will be welcoming Nottingham Forest to the Anfield Stadium. A big match for Arne Slaughter, of course, for Sean Dyche, who is finding joy since taking over at Nottingham Forest. We want to take a quick breather, Makona, but those are just some of the games for today. We have the likes of Burnley and Chelsea also for an early kickoff. We have the likes of Bournemouth and West Ham playing on later today. Wolves, Crystal Palace also, and another interesting match will be Brighton against Brentford. Sunderland managed to hold Arsenal last time out. This time they are traveling to the Cottage, that is to play against Fulham. We just started off the broadcast talking about the club football that has resumed, and we are having enticing actions this weekend. We just spoke about how Newcastle welcoming Manchester City, and also Liverpool having a tricky test against Nottingham Forest. There's only one way to find out. The time is 6 p.m. today, and of course the name of the game is winning. Who is going to walk away with the 3 points? Tutangoja na tutajionea. As we continue, I want to take a look at the North London derby. But quickly, Makona, we are having an early kickoff between Chelsea and Burnley. And kama navyotazama now, we can see that the lineups are already out. And it's very interesting to see. Of course, we mentioned the fact that Cole Palmer, he was one of the players that we were anticipating angirudi hivi karibuni, but sasa injury imeongezeka baada ya he broke his toe some time back. But then again, we are looking at how the lineups are looking like. Liam Delap is back as far as striking is concerned for Chelsea. And João Pedro has been given the number 10 role, a free roaming position there. Very interesting to see how he's going to play this afternoon. Of course, we have the likes of Santos in midfield alongside Enzo Fernandez. And it's interesting to see that Enzo Maresca has decided to put Moses Caicedo on the bench. What do you think about this lineup?
The lineup is so fantastic. It means Chelsea will have the chance to kill Burnley like they have never done, because they have put Caicedo on the bench,
yes,
and the team that has started already is fire and will perform. Look, the same thing you have said. Joao Pedro has been given that role to play in the number 10.
Right.
And he can also be used as a striker as Liam Delap drops to the midfield.
Right.
You know, Chelsea have played something that we have never seen, using 2 strikers, one in the 10th position and another one in the 9th position.
Right.
It means they will perform today. And knowing also Joao Pedro can score.
Yes.
Jamie Gittens can score.
Right.
Knowing that in the midfield, they have started their main man, that is Enzo Fernandez.
Yes.
Not forgetting Andri Santos. this midfield is so terrifying.
Okay.
Knowing that outside they still have their best man, and especially in the English Premier League, that is Moises Caicedo is on the bench. And when he comes in, I know he's going to perform.
Right.
Another youngster who will come in and disturb the Burnley defense is Estavio.
Yes.
William Estavio will also make sure that he scores. I remember the last time he came in, they were playing against Liverpool.
Right.
He scored the winning goal. Yeah. So, especially also in the defense, Malagusto is back, Badiashile is back, Achompong is back and he's on the bench. Let's also not forget Garnacho.
Right.
Garnacho is there and he will assist automatically.
Just put a pin on that, because I want to talk about the influence that we are seeing Garnacho having on this Chelsea side, right? Without a doubt, yes, you can see Maresca has chosen Gittens over Garnacho this afternoon. But that goes to show you that Enzo Maresca has a lot of quality players. And these youngsters are very talented. I like the way you put it out there, the fact that Estavio is one of the players that he might come in. I mean, he will come in definitely. And he might score, or he definitely will score, because he has that flair. He has that, and I think he's one of the youngsters at the moment that is being looked at in the Premier League, because he's playing really well. Kind of like we've seen a very long time in a player like Riyad Mahrez, for example, or Ziyech, for example. You know, the kind of player he is. But for Pedro Neto, of course, up front in that particular position, of course, they can hurt over Burnley. And you've said a prediction in this game. Unawapatia ngapi?
Prediction is Chelsea win 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Because Burnley is that one team.
Yeah, it's that one team that
the opponent.
Yeah, they must score.
They must.
I remember most of the teams they are played, especially if you are a big team.
Yes.
Burnley usually scores.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ijalishi kama ni sita moja.
Even if you beat them 7, they will beat you 2 or 1.
Wonderful. All right, and let's now turn our focus to the most coveted game of this weekend. That is on the Super Sunday match between Arsenal and Tottenham. I'm talking about the North London derby. Now, for many reasons, Arsenal fans and Makona being one of them, they are rubbing their hands. They are very, very interested for this particular game, because it is a derby. Let me just start with that. It is a derby, and derby is one of those games that can go either way. If it's a win for you, congratulations. If it's a loss for you, it's a big, big embarrassment because of the heaviness of the game. And Arsenal and Tottenham, it's number 1 meeting against number 5. Big game test for Arsenal. And in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, Makona, I feel like the pressure here is on Arsenal. Why? Because first of all, Manchester City is playing today against Newcastle. It can go either way, but because Manchester City are aware that Tottenham can cause a problem in the derby for Arsenal, they'll be looking to close that gap. Remember, it's only 4 points between these two sides. They can try and reduce that gap today against Newcastle. And that then will force Arsenal to consider a must-win tomorrow. Not a draw, but a must-win. So I see pressure here piling more on the Arsenal side other than the Tottenham side. What do you think?
I'll say the pressure is on Arsenal, that's for sure. Because Manchester City now have 22 points. Liverpool have 18 points. If Manchester City win today against Newcastle, that will be 25 points.
Right.
1 point behind Arsenal.
Yes.
If Liverpool win today against Nottingham Forest, they will be having 21 points. That is 4 points to reach Manchester City.
Right.
And 5 points to reach Arsenal.
Right.
I'll say the pressure is now on Arsenal. If Arsenal want to save themselves and save this season, they will start by beating Tottenham. And that's for sure. Now, when we come to the analysis of the game, you'll find that Arsenal, if we have to look at their best lineup that they can start in this game to make sure that they collect all the 3 points. In defense, they have to start with Raya as the goalkeeper. Right back, they have to start with the only man, who is Julian Timber. He has perfectly done something good on the right position.
Right.
We have William Saliba, who is not injured. He was injured the other time, but now he's back and is performing. On the side where Gabriel Magalhaes plays, that is the left center back.
Right.
we have to put there Pierre Hincapié. Because I have 3 reasons. First of all, Pierre Hincapié, when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, he managed to go the whole season unbeaten. That is the season 2023-2024.
Right.
Another thing is they managed to captain, that is Ecuador, is the captain to Ecuador. And he has, in this international break, he has prevented any goal from going into the Ecuador net. So I will put him there instead of Mosquera, who has played for Spain under 21, but he didn't do very well. On the other side, we had Ricardo Calafiori. He could have played there, but we will use Lewis Kelly because, Calafiori withdrew from the Italy national team due to hip injury.
Right.
In the midfield, we will have to use Eze, Zubimendi, and Declan Rice.
Right.
There are rumors that Kai Havertz and Odegaard are back, but now because they are from injury, let them stay out first. Let the team that has been used to playing start. Right. So in the midfield, I go with Eze, Zubimendi, and Declan Rice. That midfield is good. Eze as a 10, Declan Rice as an 8, Zubimendi as a 6.
Right.
In the striking, we have our captain of strikers, that is Bukayo Saka on the right wing. In the striking position, we have Mikel Merino because, Gabriel Jesus was back to training. We had also Victor Gyökeres back to training this international break. But because of injuries, let them come in as a second half or let them just stay on the bench. Let Mikel Merino finish because he has been finishing for Spain. On the other side, Gabriel Martinelli has been struggling with injuries, together with Noni Madueke, who is looming to be back now. Right. So let's start Leandro Trossard. Let him do the same thing he did to Pedro Porro the last time, so that Tottenham defense got to learn of how Arsenal plays. On the other side, if Tottenham are really prepared very well, they should start with their own goalkeeper, that is Vicario. Yes. Also, on the right back, let them use their main man, that's Pedro Porro. Yes. Then Romero and Van Dieven to be in the centre-back position. Right. On the left back, let's have Jed Spence. In the midfield, we will have Bentancur, Joao Palhinha, and Pep Matassar. Yes. Also, on the striking, we will have Randall Colomwani. This one was our best striker at Bayern, but Tottenham managed to acquire him. Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig is a good man, and he can really do something. On the right back, we will have Mohamed Kudus. Those are the best lineups that the derby can hold tomorrow. Right.
Let me just mention something very interesting here because this is something I've noted, especially on the Tottenham side. Coming to this particular game, their away form is better than their home team, and better than their home form. And this is because hawajakuwa kufanya vizuri pale nyumbani. That is for Tottenham, right? But they are hurting opponents, getting more wins when they play away. And when you look at, for example, but there's something that has been sticking out for me in the way they performed, especially against Manchester United, where they managed to draw, and also against Chelsea where they lost. The fact that there's that lack of creativity, because yes, we mentioned a host of good players. Kolo Muani did really well before at PSG, before being bought to the likes of Tottenham side. He's a really good player. Also, Xavi Simons, a very, very good player, but there's something missing in this Tottenham side for them to be able to cause problems for Arsenal. How can Thomas Frank be able to align his players really well? Because Tottenham is a good team. They are 5th on the table, meaning they are able to hurt their opponents one way or another. Only a few points separating them between to try and close the gap for between them and Arsenal. What is the key areas that Thomas Frank can improve or make sure that they improve against Arsenal?
I'll say Tottenham in defense, they have been having some lapses because Van Dieven and Romero have been sometimes not in good, let's say they don't play together very well, or that connection is not really showing up. Like the Arsenal have been connected in that defense. You find Timber is well connected to Saliba, as well as Saliba is connected to Magalhaes, as well as Magalhaes is connected to Calafiori or Lewis Kelly.
Yes.
So I will say that connection at Tottenham is not really good and is not showing up very well. Also, when you go to the statistics, in the last 10 games Arsenal has faced Tottenham, Arsenal have won 6 of the games. There's been only 1 draw, and Tottenham has won 3 of the games.
Right.
So this shows you that if Tottenham want to win this game, they will have to sacrifice more in the striking position for them to beat Arsenal. The only sabotage they can do to Arsenal is to find the gap Magalhaes has been covering. You know, Gabriel Magalhaes has been the captain in that defense.
Right.
For Arsenal, we have 3 captains on the team. We have a captain in defense, a captain in midfield, and a captain in striking. A captain in midfield is Declan Rice. A captain in defense is Gabriel Magalhaes. A captain in striking is Bukayo Saka. So now that the captain in defense is not there, we will have to see some shakes in that defense.
Yes,
especially if Mosquera plays or Nkapia plays.
They're not usually,
they have not been playing together for all that time. Yes. So that is the only advantage Tottenham can have in this game. Try to capitalize on where they see a hole which has been left by Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yes.
Apart from that, there is nothing Tottenham has to capitalize on to beat Arsenal. In striking, Arsenal are the best. Even if we have to take the combined X1 of Tottenham and Arsenal, maybe 2 players will come in to replace, maybe Van Dieven to come in and replace Gabriel Magalhaes, and only Colomwani to come in and replace the attacking side like Merino, or replaces Gyökeres or Trossard.
Right.
But any other player is cannot fit in that Arsenal game. So the chances here are they find the gap that Gabriel Magalhaes has left and they try to utilize that gap. They will score easily against Arsenal.
Beautiful analysis there. Of course, after that 2-2 draw against Sunderland, something was exposed in the Arsenal side. Hopefully, Thomas Frank and Tottenham can try and exploit that, because kidogo Arsenal walishtuliwa kidogo tu. Because and that is football for you. Anything can happen in this particular sport. But of course, they'll be keen to make it 6 out of 6 wins when they play against Tottenham, I beg your pardon, in the North London derby. Once again, it is number 1 meeting number 5. But of course, Arsenal will be looking to increase the numbers as far as, or increase the distance or the points as far as the table is concerned. Because just after 12 games, they are leading with 26 points, 4 points again ahead of Manchester City, who are second with 22. But after that, things are a bit tight, with Chelsea with 20 points. Sunderland, as amazingly, are number 4 with 19 points. Did you anticipate Sunderland?
I would say Sunderland, since they came to the English Premier League, they have been fighting so hard.
Wonderful.
Even that 1 point, they got it against Arsenal. And they got it in the last minutes. And we have seen even Sunderland trying to manipulate big teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool.
Even United, right?
Even Manchester United. Yes. In this game, what is making Sunderland to perform is Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, the former or ex-Arsenal midfield, has really arranged...
Captain.
And captained... and now he's captaining Sunderland very well. I remember when they were playing against Arsenal, he was telling them how to arrange themselves on the field and how to position themselves in such a way that if Arsenal misses the ball, they have to get it and try to utilize the ball. And they did so, and they managed to score the first goal against Arsenal. The other thing I noticed about Sunderland is a team that doesn't give up in a game.
Right.
They will fight up to the last minute. Even today, they have a game against Fulham.
Yes.
I give Sunderland a straight win because Fulham, sometimes they usually forget themselves. But Sunderland, they will orient themselves up to the last minutes of the game.
Yes.
So that is the only advantage that is putting Sunderland among the top teams in the English Premier League.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this tomorrow afternoon, Tottenham will be seen as the underdogs in this North London derby, because Arsenal have been doing really well, but there's only one way to find out. Remember, just like I mentioned, this is the game. This is football, and anything can happen. That is just a glimpse of some of the games taking place. That is tomorrow. But of course, another game will be Leeds Leeds United I want to get your prediction on this one, Makona.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow, yeah, of course, despite the match that is the Sunday match, that is the Arsenal between Arsenal and Tottenham. Leeds, Aston Villa. Your prediction on that?
I will go with Aston Villa.
Okay.
Aston Villa, after they resurrected against Manchester City,
Yes.
I think it's a team that is fighting to be in the top.
Okay.
So I'll go with Aston Villa. Leeds have been performing very well, but if you compare the two sides, Aston Villa is the stronger side to win. So Aston Villa win 3-1.
Okay. And I know you, and I know I'm getting this from you, and I also get it from some other people, of course. Yeah. But playing on Fridays and playing on Mondays, there's a bad luck somewhere there.
Yeah.
But on Monday, it will be Manchester United at home at Old Trafford against Everton. How do you see this panning out? Your prediction on this one? Of course, Manchester United, they'll be without their key striker, that is Benjamin Sesko, who against Tottenham failed to finish the game because of an injury, and he has been sidelined for a few weeks. So for Ruben Amorim there, he has quite a few statistics or a few styles of play to do. He can choose to bring in, many people want to see Josh Zirkzee start. So he might start Joshua Zirkzee, but then again, we have seen even when he has had the services of Benjamin Sesko, he has went ahead to start the likes of Matthias Cunha up front, the likes of Mason Mount up front, and that then forces Bruno Fernandes to come in as a number 10 there. In the midfield sector, he has gone with the services of Kobe Mino sometimes when Bruno is playing ahead, but Kobe is also injured. Then will he go? Will he play Manuel Ugarte there, or will he stick to Josh Zirkzee, Palembele, Bruno Fernandes to maintain a position with the Casemiro and start? How do you see this panning out for Manchester United against Everton on Monday night?
Manchester United this season have started being consistent.
Yes.
We saw them, they had won 2 games, the third one they drew.
Yes.
So I'll say Manchester United have the chance to beat Everton on Monday. But the only thing that will make Manchester United maybe to fumble the 3 points is that if they don't orient themselves well in the midfield.
Right.
We know Manchester United have that shortages in the midfield, especially now that we have the likes of Maino being injured. I'll say the midfield of Manchester United depends on Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. Now that Fernandes is there, Casemiro is doubtful. Then also in the striking role, we have Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Sesko. Now that Sesko was injured, and we have no better replacement than to play Joshua Zirkzee. Now that Ojland went out on loan, I'll say if Manchester United will utilize Bruno and Casemiro in that midfield very well, then they utilize Mbeumo and Cunha to make sure that they score at least 1 goal each of them. That is maybe Bruno scores, that is Cunha scores, and Mbeumo scores. I think they can win the game. Because I'm sure, and this one I'm telling you as a Manchester United fans,
yes,
Manchester United will concede against Everton.
Definitely.
Because that Everton striking power is really, really amazing in the English Premier League.
Yes.
And that is something that I've witnessed for the past 2 to 3 games. Manchester United has been conceding. Whether they win or whether they lose, they must concede a goal. And if you look at the chances I give Manchester United, if you look in the past 10 games, Manchester United has won 6 games, 3 have been a draw, and 1 Newcastle has won. Everton. So Everton has won. Why am I obsessed with Newcastle today?
There's something there.
So Everton has only one win in 10 games. 3 draws and 6 wins for Manchester United. So history shows that Manchester United will win the game.
Yes.
But if you look at Everton, especially if you look at the possible lineups, especially on the side of Everton, you find that Everton has Iliman Ndiaye, Barry, Jack Grealish, the assist man. Yes. After he left Manchester City, he resurrected from the sleeping bed again. So I think it is the ball is in Manchester United's court. either they lose it or they win it.
Definitely, of course, Everton is a side that can cause problems, especially just like you mentioned, the resurgence of Jack Grealish has given them that lifeline that David Moyes has had with Everton, of course. And then Diaya, of course, he's doing really well as the number 10 for Everton. He's consistent, back-to-back goals for the club. And there's one particular young player that I like. He came from Manchester United. That is James Garner. He's quite a proper midfield. And I'm seeing, please, ladies and gentlemen, save this video for the future. James Garner is one of the top midfielders that I'm seeing doing really well as far as the Premier League is concerned. I've not seen a lot of limelight being shown towards his end, probably because he's still young, he's still finding his foot. But he plays a really crucial role for Everton and for David Moyes. So against Manchester United, there's one to find out on Monday Night Football when they'll be playing away. Everton playing away at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Of course, be sure to catch up the conversation here with Felix Makona and Chris Mololo on Monday night as far as football, Sports City and football is concerned. Makona, I want us to wrap it up as far as English club football is concerned. Quickly, let's look at the local football because also we are resuming on March day 10 as far as the Sport Pesa League is concerned or the Kenya Premier League is concerned. And big games to look out for this weekend, especially a struggling KCB side who are 16th on the table. They'll be welcoming Mara Sugar, who are number 9 on the table as far as the KPL is concerned. This is a big test for Robert Matano because, and we've said so many times here, Makona, that we don't really know what's going on for Matano. Is it the tactics? Is it that he has no players of his liking at his disposal? We are quite struggling to wrap our head around what is happening with Robert Matano. And but against a side like Mara Sugar, who, yes, they came into the KPL as underdogs, but they've done really well so far to cement their place in the KPL. They're top 10, they're number 9. How do you see this panning out for KCB this afternoon? I'd like to get your predictions as far as this game is concerned.
Okay, as we talk, the game has already started.
Yes.
It is in the 63 minutes.
Yes.
And KCB is already beating Marashuga 1-0.
Right.
December, Kisaka has scored, and he scored in the first minutes of the game. I'll say this is the win that KCB needs the most.
Yes.
Because after this win, I think KCB will be climbing somewhere up.
Yeah, top 10 probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is a good show to especially KCB and the board, and Robert Matano himself will be proud of this result if it ends in his favor.
Right.
And that is KCB can add another goal. As I'm looking at the game rate, I see KCB is really possessing and attacking at the same time. So I give my chance KCB will win 2-0.
Wonderful. Of course, should they win that particular game, it will be a big boost for KCB and big boost for Robert Matano to try get that pressure off his shoulders as far as the KPL is concerned. And also another entertaining match this afternoon will be Gor Mahia against Tusker FC. Gor Mahia, of course, they did really well last time out and went ahead past Kakamega Homeboys. Not many had seen this happening, with them still having less games. All right, they as we speak, many teams have played roughly 9 to 10 games, roughly 8 to 10 to 9 games this weekend, making it 10. But for Gor Mahia, they have played 7 games so far. This weekend will be making their 8th, and they've done really well. Of course, as they seem to be getting back to where they should be. One can say that Iluwauma last season hawakupata kikombe. How do you see this afternoon them playing against Tusker?
The game has already started again.
Yes.
And Gor Mahia are leading 1-0.
Right.
So I will say if Gor Mahia scored in the 7th minute and now it is in the 20th minute, probably Gor Mahia are going to win. The last time Gor Mahia was playing against Kariobangi Sharks, I saw that there were fans saying that Kariobangi Sharks can beat Gor Mahia easily because they were away. And Gor Mahia that time, they were not well-oriented or they were not winning their games as expected.
Yes.
They were winning ile kimungu-mungu, can beat someone 1-0, 2-0. Right. But Gor Mahia has risen again. Even if you look at the table right now, it is match week 10, they are having 19 points and they are leading the table at the first position.
Yes.
So this shows you that the team is serious and they are working towards success. And this is what will happen. Gor Mahia will win 3 goals.
Okay. Kakamega Homeboys, of course, after their defeat last time out, they'll be looking to bounce back to winning ways, but they are facing a tough opponent in Posta Rangers. They are 4th on the table, Posta Rangers. Kakamega Homeboys, they are 2nd, just behind Gor Mahia. This is a game being played tomorrow. How do you see this coming out?
In the last 10 games, we've seen Kakamega Homeboys winning 5 games.
Yes.
3 games have ended in a draw, and 2 games are win for Posta Rangers. I'll say history repeats itself.
Yes.
Kakamega Homeboys are not 2nd because of they didn't work hard.
Right.
They worked hard for that 2nd position.
Right.
And Posta Rangers, I'm not diminishing them, but they are nothing in the eyes of Kakamega Homeboys.
They are nothing in the eyes. Well, your prediction on this one?
My prediction is Kakamega win 3-0.
Kakamega to win 3-0. Wonderful. Another enticing match will be and I like this season. I'm finding joy talking about FC Leopards because for a very long time I've not seen them where they are at the moment. They are 3rd on the KPL table, and they are playing a side that is really shaky in Kariobangi Sharks. That is 17th meets 3rd. Kariobangi Sharks are 17th at the table as we speak, but FC Leopards have done quite really well in their 3rd on the table. In the past 5 games, they have won 3, lost 1, drew 1 against a side that is very, sort of, should I say, for the lack of better words, they are weak because they've not started really well. That is Kariobangi Sharks. In the last 5 games, only 1 win, 3 losses, 1 draw. How do you see, is this an easy win for the Ingwe?
I'll say Ingwe to the bank. The reason I will say this, if you look at the last 10 games,
right,
Ingwe has won 3, 5 draws, and 2 wins for the Kariobangi Sharks. And at this moment, Kariobangi Sharks have been sawed down, whether they are home, whether they are away. If we look at their games, I will say they are not playing to that level they were playing the other seasons.
Yes.
I will say their level has dropped, while that of AFC Leopards has been pushed by the fans that they must perform. Remember, after this game, Chingwe will be in the Mashemeji Derby.
Yes.
Although we are coming to talk about that because the venue has not been found up to now.
Yes.
But AFC Leopards will have to win today so that whatever happens in the Mashemeji Derby, let it be.
Yes.
Ikwe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Na yote najua Gor Mahia are most likely favorites.
Yeah.
Owing to one, the good form that they are in, but also FC Leopards watajipiga kifua kidogo because they are now sitting 3rd on the table. This is a big motivation for them. And for Gor Mahia, I don't think they will expect it easy. What do you think?
I'll say the game is undecided because you don't know whatever happens in the derbys like this.
Yes.
They can either go either way.
Yes.
And according to my prayer, it goes to AFC Leopards.
Right. And I wish you kept that same faith. The fact that you're saying derbies go either way. I wish you kept that same faith when you're speaking about Arsenal and the North London derby, because derbies go either way. But like you know, Joel to Arsenal, of course, you'll definitely side with Mikel Arteta. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the broadcast. But before we leave, of course, I started off by mentioning that we've been having a team of athletes, should I say para-athletes, or as far as the Deaflympics is concerned. And it kicked off from November 15th, and it's going through up to November 26th. That is sometime next week. Happening in Tokyo, Japan. We've been having quite good performances, Makona. So far, we have, last time out in Brazil, we accumulatively got 11 medals, right? This time out, we so far as we speak, we have 7 medals. And this is speaking up as we head off to day 8, right? 7 medals so far, 2 golds, 3 silver, 2 bronze. And 7 athletes are having qualified to the respective finals, majority of them taking place tomorrow. Maybe you could sum up in your own perspective so far. Makona, how do you see our athletes doing so far?
The Paralympians are performing, and that's something that for the first time I'm witnessing Paralympians that are going to bring many medals to Kenya. Because up to now there are 7 medals. That is 2 bronze, 3 silver, and 2
gold.
2 gold.
Yes.
I'll say this shows that we are determined. And there are still many events yet to take place, and they are going to take place this week up to the closing ceremony on 26th.
Yes.
So we are going to bring home other medals, especially today. There will be some competition today.
Right.
And we are going to update you on our website, that is www.sciencetv.co.ke.
Yes.
Follow there for more information, and also like and subscribe to our channels, whereby we'll be giving you the full information about the Deaflympics and also other games that are playing around the world. This shows that we are too serious, especially when it comes to competitions of athletics. Especially Kenya is ranked high when you come to the side of athletics.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Of course, some of the stars who are shining as far as the Deaflympics is concerned for Team Kenya, we have Ian Wambui, who managed to win the gold in the 10,000 meters race. And also we have James Mwanza Musumbi, who managed to win gold in the 1500 meters race. They are leading the charge. They're leading the team as far as the Deaflympics is concerned. And Kenya now shifts its attention to a crucial day of finals on Sunday, that is tomorrow, at the Komazawa Olympic Park Gymnasium. And some of the athletes to watch, among them will be Lucas Wandia, who will be chasing a historic third straight gold in the 3,000 meters steeplechase race. And also we'll be having Sharon Bitok, who is the reigning silver medalist in the women's 800 meters race. And also we have Hilary Kipkorir and Stephen Okoth, who are the men's javelins finalists. And also we have the men's and women's 4x100 meter relay teams. They'll be seeking qualification to the finals. But then again, Team Kenya continues to show resilience and ambition as far as the day 8 of the Tokyo Deaflympics tournament is concerned. Be sure to catch up. Be sure to catch up with more content, just like Makona has mentioned, at sciencetv.co.ke. We'll be getting more details as far as the Deaflympics is concerned, but also in our news broadcast, a sports segment, where we'll be giving you highlights as they are happening. As we wind up, ladies and gentlemen, you've been with me, Bill Clinton Odhiambo, alongside my colleague, Felix Makona. My sign language interpreters have been Tobias Omondi and Wanja Ngede.